Hello everyone, are you ready for a fantastic story? Great. Today, we're diving into a classic tale called The Musicians of Bremen. This is a story all about friendship and what can happen when you work together as a team. So it makes you wonder, what can four unlikely friends really do? Let's find out together.
All right, so our story begins on a farm. And who do we meet first? A donkey. Now this donkey had worked super hard his whole life, but, well, he was getting a bit old, and his owner, sadly, didn't want him around anymore, just because he couldn't work as hard as he used to. That's just awful, isn't it? So the donkey was feeling pretty down, but then, you know what? He had a brilliant idea, a fantastic plan. He decided, I'm leaving this farm, and he set off for the big city of Bremen. His goal? To become a musician. So as our donkey is walking down the road to Bremen, he spots someone. Who could it be? It was an old hunting dog just lying there by the side of the road. And oh, he looked so sad and tired.
A kind donkey walked over and asked him, "Hey, what's the matter?" And the dog, with a long sigh, said, "My owner kicked me out. I'm just too old now."
Well, the donkey felt really bad for the dog. But then he remembered his amazing plan. He perked up and said, "Hey, come with me to Bremen. We can be musicians together." And you know what? The dog's tail gave a little wag. Then a bigger one. He loved that idea. So off they went, two new friends on an adventure.
So they're walking along, and after a little while, they see someone else. This time, it's a cat, just sitting on a wall. And guess what? She looked every bit as sad as the dog had when they first met him.
So, of course, they asked her what was wrong, and the cat told them her sad little story. "I'm old now," she said, "so my owner chased me away."
The donkey and the dog just looked at each other and nodded. They knew exactly what to do. Together they said, "Come with us to Bremen. We're going to be musicians." Well, the cat's eyes just lit up. A musician? That sounded amazing. And just like that, she joined the team.
So now there are three of them walking happily down the road. Pretty soon, they pass by another farm. And sitting right on top of the gate was a rooster. And boy, was he crowing loudly. But something was wrong. He looked so sad while he was doing it.
The donkey called up to him, "Why do you sound so sad?" The rooster replied, with a bit of a quiver in his crow, "Because I'm getting old. The farmer doesn't want me anymore."
Well, the dog didn't even hesitate. He just barked happily, "Then come with us!" And that was it. The band was complete. Our four new friends, the donkey, the dog, the cat, and the rooster, were all heading to Bremen together.
Okay, so now it's getting dark. The friends find themselves in a deep, dark forest. Kind of spooky, right? They're tired, they're hungry. But then, wait, what's that? A tiny light. It's coming from a little house, deep in the woods. So, very quietly, they tiptoed up to the house and took a peek inside the window. And you won't believe what they saw. Robbers, a whole group of them. And they were eating at a table that was piled high with the most delicious-looking food. The friends' tummies rumbled. They had to get those robbers out of there.
So what do you do? Well, they came up with a really clever plan. You've got to hear this. First, the dog carefully climbed onto the donkey's back. Next, the cat scrambled up and stood on the dog. And for the grand finale, the rooster flew right up to the very top and perched on the cat's head. Can you even picture that?
Okay, they're all balanced, ready to go. On the count of three, they were going to make their music. Ready? First up, the donkey let out the biggest, loudest bray you've ever heard.
And right on top of that, the dog started barking with all his might. And then the cat joined in, letting out a giant, yowling screech.
And to finish it all off, from way up high, the rooster crowed louder than any rooster has ever crowed before. Now imagine being a robber inside that house. You hear this awful noise and see this giant, strange shadow at the window. They were completely terrified. "It's a monster," they yelled. They didn't even think twice. They jumped up and ran for their lives, screaming all the way into the dark woods. And just like that, it worked. Their plan was a success. By all working together, our four friends managed to scare those robbers away for good. See? They were so much stronger as a team than they were by themselves. That's what teamwork is all about. So, the friends rushed inside,
And oh, the feast that was waiting for them. They gathered around that big table, and they ate and ate and ate until their tummies were perfectly full and their hearts were so happy. It was the best meal ever.
You know, that little house in the woods was just so warm and cozy. It felt like, well, it felt like home. The friends decided they didn't need to go to Bremen after all. They didn't need to be musicians. Why? Because they'd already found something way better. They found a home, and they found each other. And you know what? They lived there, together, happily ever after.